Hey there, I bet you're all surprised to see that I'm doing a video. I don't know what made me decide to do a video. I felt it was about that time, you know. It's been about a year. Well, it's been more than a year now since I did a video. And that's a really long time. I really don't have a good excuse or anything as to why I didn't do a video. I guess I kept saying, oh, I'll do it in a few weeks, I'll make another one soon, and that turned into a few weeks to a few months, and here we are to like a year. Yeah, I guess I just lost motivation, you know, and kind of fell out of it. But yeah, hopefully I can start doing videos again. Well, I am starting to do videos again. Not much has been going on for me over the past year. That's kind of unfortunate. I mean, I'm kind of embarrassed to say that I'm still in the same place I was a year ago. Nothing has changed. I'm still working at the same job. I'm still at home. I haven't really made any progress with my anxiety. I still feel it. Haven't seen a psychologist or anyone about this. It's kind of weird to think that like you can go through, you know, day in, day out doing the same thing, and it seems like, alright, like last year, if you would have asked me if I would have been in the same place a year later, I probably would have said, well, I'm sure I will have made some progress by then, but no. But I still have hope, so I find that other people's lives are changing around me, but mine is kind of staying the same, and it's my fault. I need to actually take the initiative to change, but it's pretty hard when you have anxiety to do things differently, to break out of your comfort zone. And I've been so used to just avoiding everything that I don't know, just kind of got stuck in that whole thing. Oh, this past summer, my brother and sister, they graduated high school, and now they're in college. They're only 20 minutes away, but you know, they're in college now, and their life is seemingly, you know, on its way, starting off. I did jury duty for the first time last week. Had to do it for like 3 days. That was certainly anxiety provoking when I started it. The first time I ever got called in for jury duty was like it was 5 years ago. No, 6 years ago, back in 2004. But I had showed up, back then I just showed up at the building, and they started calling names, and if they didn't call your name, which they didn't call mine, they said you could go home. I was hoping they would do that this time around, but no such luck. On my notice it said you had definite jury service, and I'm thinking, well, maybe they maybe that doesn't mean definite, maybe it's just a maybe. But no, it was definite. As soon as I got there, they gave you the little stickers, the juror stickers, and everyone's name is being called. Everyone's name was eventually going to be called. I got called. First thing you do was you meet with the bailiff or whatever. Well, you stand in line and then you meet with the bailiff, hand him your juror card, and you head on down to the courtroom. Mine was in the basement. I got to go into a courtroom for the first time, and the juror box doesn't look like it does on TV. It's not like this wooden thing. It's like a designated space, and the seats are pretty comfortable. At least that was nice. But yeah, when I first walked in there weren't that many people, but it was still like, oh man, this is a new experience. I'm kind of freaking out. I don't like new things. It just really messes with me. Because I don't, you know, I don't really know how to respond to new situations that well. Feels like I'm playing, like I'm an actor, playing a part, but I don't have a script. That's what it feels like a lot of times. I was probably at an anxiety level 7 when I went in, and as the lawyer did the how do you pronounce it, Voltaire, where they basically question all the potential jurors. There were like 20 of us or something, and they didn't question us individually. Like, I thought they would question us separately, like in a secluded space. No, they question you individually, but you're still in the courtroom, and there's other people, and so you have to kind of respond in front of them. And I guess it's not a big deal if you don't have anxiety, but if you do, then yeah, that could make things worse. Luckily, I didn't. I was a potential juror, so I didn't actually get called into the juror box at first. So there's like these two separate sections. There's one section where the jurors sit, and then there's another section where it's like just potential jurors. So if during the Voltaire process the lawyer doesn't want someone, then they'll pick from us. So yeah, after they pick the jury, I'm thinking, I really hope no one tries to get out of this so I don't get picked. But there were some pretty crazy responses from people. I mean, this one girl, she was like, I think everyone is guilty that comes into this courtroom. And I mean, that was kind of crazy. And this other guy, this other woman says that her family, her grandparents were killed by robbers. The case involved like a car thief or whatever. But she didn't know that, but basically she brought up that burglars had killed her grandparents. I don't know if she was lying or not. But if she was, that's kind of messed up to lie about something like that. And then there's the third guy. There's this other guy who, oh, by the way, the judge, he wasn't taking like any crap. He was like, all right, let's not do this today. Let's not play this jury duty today, because I don't have the time. I don't have the patience. I've been doing this for 20 years. I've seen it all. He's just really going off on people. That was pretty funny. Oh, yeah, the third guy, he said something about how this was the worst year of his life, and how his wife had left him, and how he's pretty much lost everything. And so now he just pretty much, like, now he just hates everyone. He said that. And he's been seeing a psychologist, and he says he tried to get a note from his psychologist to get out of the jury duty, but he decided to come anyway. And he was saying all this, just to everyone, and, out loud to everyone in the courtroom. I was pretty amazed at that. There's no way I could talk about stuff like that. And then the judge says, something to him about, okay, if you could have gotten out of it, then, why did you still decide to come? That's not a valid excuse if you still decided to come. And he basically goes off. The guy, he goes off and starts talking about how, his Xanax is in his car and all this other stuff. And the judge was like, you know what, take this man upstairs. We're gonna reschedule him. I don't know if he actually got off or if he got rescheduled. But basically, you would, even if the lawyers didn't pick you, you would get rescheduled for that day. But I didn't think I'd be talking for this long. But basically, the case was about, it had to deal with this guy who was accused of breaking into this woman's car at a gas station during the day. He drove up. Well, he drove up in his car. He drove up in his car, and he was on the passenger side, and he had a friend and a witness. There was only one witness who said that they saw him get out of the car, smash the window, and reach inside and get a purse. Now, the unlucky thing about this is that the car and the purse belonged to an off-duty police officer because her badge and gun were in there. Now, the guy that was being accused of doing this, they never found the gun, or they never found the purse or anything on him. There really wasn't any evidence to prove that he did this other than the one witness that said that he was for sure. So yeah, somebody ended up, there was mysterious circumstances. The woman got her gun and badge back through the mail. They don't know who sent that. It was really kind of shady, the whole thing. So when we got back to the jury room, and yeah, those 3 people that I was talking about that, had issues with being in the jury, they were let go. Other people were let go, and eventually I was called to sit on the box. But anyway, when we got back to the jury room, basically everyone was arguing for 3 days, and it came down to mostly not guilty, and there was one guy who was just so adamant that he was guilty. I voted not guilty because there's just not enough evidence, I don't want to send anyone to jail if I don't know for sure that they didn't do something. So, but in the end, the guy, he decided that that he was going to agree with the rest of us, and we came to a verdict, and the guy was set free. We all went home after that, back to our separate lives. It was certainly an experience. I'm glad that I got to do jury duty, even if I was really reluctant at first. I don't really want to do it again because I'm losing money. I had to take off a day of work and everything. And it's really just, I don't know. I may make a short part 2. Hold on.